Hello, baseball fans. Anthony with Bleacher Buns Gaming, and we are back for game number 2 in our series between the White Sox and Cleveland Naps. The Sox, on their first road trip of the season, this is game number 8 of the replay, are coming off a 13-11 loss yesterday in an absolute explosion of offense, especially for the dead ball era. That saw Addy Joss and Ed Walsh failed to live up to their reputations as two of the best pitchers in the American League, as both struggled and were shelled. So the Sox look to get back on the winning track in this one, and in this game played in real life on 4/22/1908. The White Sox were indeed victorious 4-0 behind the 3-hit pitching of Frank Owen, and that moved them to 4-4 on the season. Right now they come into this game 3-3 with their opening game against Detroit ending in a darkness-called tie. So they're going to look to move to the positive side of 500 on the ledger. And our lineups today for the Sox: leading off in left field, Patsy Doherty, Fielder Jones in center. George Davis, the wily veteran, gets to start at second today over Jake Atz. John Anderson is still in right. Freddie Perrant at short. Jiggs Donahue at first. Lee Tannehill down at third. Billy Sullivan behind the dish. And as mentioned, Frank Owen on the hill for the Sox. For the Naps, Josh Clark leads it off in left. Bill Bradley at third. George Stovall at first. Nap Lajoie at second. Terry Turner at short. Nick Clark behind the plate. Joe Birmingham in center. Bill Hinchman in right. And Glenn Liebhart, who actually pitched yesterday in relief of Joss, is on the mound to start this game for the Naps. So we are ready to get going, and Walsh, because he lasted only an inning in that game yesterday and was shelled for 6 runs, is available to pitch in relief if needed today for the White Sox. And an interesting point, the Sox, despite the 13 runs allowed, 10 of which were earned, still only boosted their ERA up to a little over 2. So shows you how good their pitching has been prior to that game. We're ready to get underway as Liebhart to Doherty. And we're going to start this off in column 2. And that will be a total of 12. And 12 will be a single into left field. So the Sox, their defense starts off much the way it did yesterday. And it's going to be a steal attempt, or their offense, I should say. Now this will be against Liebhart's hold rating, which is a 3, and Doherty easily pilfers second base as Liebhart can't hold him close. That brings up Fielder Jones, and the Sox in business early in this one. As we go to column 5, that'll be a total of 7, and that is going to be a walk. So Liebhart, he didn't pitch extremely well yesterday in relief, and he's off to a horrific start in this one as well. And total of 28 in column 5, and 28 is going to be a fly out to right field, a runner's hold. So coming in to take care of that out is Hinchman for the Naps, and first out of the inning, John Anderson, who had a monster day yesterday, collecting 4 hits, steps in and looks to continue that, and we're going to have a total of 59 in column 3, and 59 is going to be a potential rare play. So we will roll for that, and 2 instead is going to be a dribbler back to the mound. And all right, if die is higher than the runner's speed, he is going to be out, and Anderson is a 4, so 1-4 he's safe. And great play coming off the mound is Liebhart. Runners are going to go to second and third, but he makes an excellent play to nip Anderson at first, and that would have loaded the bases with only 1 out. Now runners on second, third, 2 down. Shortstop Freddie Perrant trying to get the Sox a run early in this one, and that is going to be a right-handed hitter, so a total of 16 in column 3, and 16 is a triple to right center, and wow! Freddie Perrant ropes that. It rattles around in the expanse of the outfield, and coming in to score easily, of course, are Doherty and Jones on the Sox. Jump to a 2-0 lead in this one. 2 RBI triple by Perrant. And their sticks are still hot from yesterday's game as Jiggs Donahue steps up. 2 out, runner on third. Liebhart shakes his head in disgust. And we're going to have a total of 13 in column 5, and that is going to be hit by a pitch. So Liebhart can't get out of his own way, and his endurance, if he can last and give up less than 6 runs, he can actually go to Donahue the 4th time, facing 33 batters. The way he's pitching so far, though, he's not going to be around that long. As we go to column 3, and that is going to be a grand total of 4 in column 3, and that's going to be a short fly out to right field, so inning is over. But the Sox, they come out smoking. 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave 2 as we head to the bottom of the 1st inning. White Sox 2, Naps 0. And leading it off will be Josh Clark against Frank Owen. And Owen looking to have a much better outing than his teammate Walsh did yesterday. Total of 39 in column 6, and that's going to be a strikeout. So off to a great start is Owen as Clark goes down. Brings up Bill Bradley. And again, column 5, and it's going to be a total of 18, and 18 is going to be an infield single, and we go to the action chart, column M. And a total of 8 there is a potential wild pitch, and Owen, and that's going to be a wild pitch. So infield single, and down to second base goes Bradley on that wild pitch. So the Naps looking to keep pace here early in this one. Runner on second, 1 out, and into column 4, a defensive check. It's going to be on the second baseman, and that'll be a total of 6. And infield will be back on this one, and that is going to be a ground out. So 4-3 on the putout, and over to third goes Bradley. And 2 down, Nap Lajoie, the Naps cleanup hitter and namesake of this team, steps up. And going to column 5, and that's going to be a total of 23. And not taking any chances, Lajoie draws a walk, and again, a potential wild pitch or pass ball. And 9, and it's going to be another wild pitch, and Bradley's going to come in to score, unearned run, and down to second. So Frank Owen not doing himself any favors. 2 wild pitches in this inning, and they have given Cleveland a run. As Terry Turner steps up, going to be a defensive check, and again the second baseman. And total of 7 in column 4, and that will be a ground out. So 4-3, a single hit in that wild pitch. Actually, 2 wild pitches proving costly. The Naps scratch one back. We're heading to the top of the second inning, 2-1. White Sox in the lead, and Billy Sullivan set to lead it off. 6 all around. That's going to be a 29 and a single to center field. And pitcher coming up, Owen, he is going to bunt. He is not a very good bunter. But going to give it a shot anyway, and that goes back to the pitcher, a total of 7, and gets the job done. So down to second goes Sullivan, and 1-3 on the putout, sacrifice hit for Owen. Back to the top of the order. And again, the Sox runner in scoring position. And we started this replay out with a lot of pitching battles in the last 2 games. Offense has been on point. So column 4, another defensive check. And this will be the shortstop. And it'll be a total of 27 in column 4 and 27. Hard shot down the line. So this is going to be a range play. And infield is back. Hold on. Bunt, I'm sorry, it's going to be a bunt down the line, so it's going to be 2 dice against the fielder's range. If both die is higher, the batter is out at first. And runners will advance 1 base. If either die is not higher, it's going to be safe. All right. So down the line, and that's actually the shortstop who's going to make the play. So, and short for the Naps is Terry Turner. He's a 2, so looking for, and not going to happen. So a bunt single, and going over to third is Billy Sullivan. So runners at the corners, 1 out for Fielder Jones. The Sox looking to add to their early lead. And going to be another defensive check. So first baseman, and for the Naps, first base is a 1. It's going to be a total of 12, and that's enough to be a possible error. And that is going to get a run in regardless, and it's going to be an error as well. So 56 and a 2-base error. Very, very costly throwaway there. As trying to pitch it underhand to the pitcher is Stovall. He throws it away. So in to score is Sullivan, and over to third goes Doherty. Fielder Jones ends up at second on the E3. And it is now 3-1, and that run will be unearned against Liebert. So both pitchers, 1 unearned run in this one, as is common for this time period. Column 2 to George Davis, and that is going to be a grand total of 56. And 56 in column 2, and that is going to be a looping drive to the outfield. And this goes into left field. And Ray's number is 2. So out in left field for the Naps, and with a defensive rating of 3, making a fine play out there is Josh Clark. And runners on second, third advance 1 base if speed is greater than outfielder's arm. So Clark has an arm of 4, and on third base is Doherty with a 5, so he's going to come in on the sacrifice fly, and Fielder Jones stays put at second base. So another unearned run comes across for Liebert, and Sox lead this 4-0, 2 outs. John Anderson, the batter now. Going to column 2, and that's going to be a total of 17, and 17 will be a strikeout. Actually, bases are not empty, so that'll be a fly out center. So Liebert's struggling, gives up another couple of runs. The error did not help him, as the Sox get 2 more hits, and they lead this 4-1 going into the bottom of the second inning. Nick Clark leads it off against Frank Owen. And going to be a defensive check. So column 4 will be a total of 11 for Clark, and it will be a check on the third baseman for the White Sox. So 12, possible error. And Tannehill is a 24, and that will be a 1-base error. So E5, Clark gives the Indians, or Naps, a base runner. It's been the toughest part of this calling these games. It's hard to get used to saying Naps instead of Indians. So the Naps have a base runner to start the second on the error by Tannehill. It brings up Joe Birmingham. Here comes a pitch, and into the power column. And going to be a total of 34, and 34 will be a short fly out to center field, 1 down. Bill Hinchman, the batter. And column 5, that will be a total of 10, and 10 is going to be a base on balls. So runners on first and second, and the stolen base rating will not come into play since the base in front of him is not open. And the pitcher up, Liebhardt, he is a 1, a very good bunter, so he's going to square up to bunt. And down to third base, and that one goes a 4, and that will be a sacrifice hit. So moving to second, third are Hinchman and Clark respectively. 5-3 on the putout, and 2 down now, runners in scoring position for the Naps. Top of the order, Josh Clark up. And the Cleveland left fielder started this game off with a strikeout. Going to column 5. And that is going to be a total of 6 in column 5. And 6 in column 5 is going to be yet another walk. With runners on first only or bases full, count as 2 balls. So runners are on first and third, so that, or second, third, so that will be a walk. So now the bases are stacked, and Bill Bradley up, Cleveland, looking to get back into this game. And where has our pitching gone in this replay? 3 is going to be the total. This will be a ballpark check. So for the pitchers, a total of 3 there, and we'll roll against the ballpark card. So it doesn't change anything. A total of 6 in column 3, and that's going to be a short fly out to center field, and inning is over. So the Naps load the bases without the benefit of a single hit, but strand all 3 of them. We are through 2, still 4-1. Sox in the lead. And Freddie Perrant leading things off in the top of the third. And down into column 1, and column 1, that is going to be swing and a miss. Struck him out, so Liebhart, his first strikeout of the game. Jiggs Donahue, the batter. And column 6, 34, that is going to be a short fly out to center field, 2 away. And we go to column 2, 13, and 13 is going to be a single left field, so a 2-out single for Tannehill. As the Sox, bats still remaining fairly hot in this one, column 5. And that's going to be a total of 35 in column 5 and a strikeout. So Liebhart comes up big, strikes out the first and last. Sox get a hit, no runs this inning. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 4-1, Chicago in the lead. George Stovall set to lead it off. And it's going to be a total of 7. A pop out to second base. 1 down as George Davis puts the squeeze on that. Nap Lajoie, the batter. And Lajoie, he does not strike out very much, and total of 8 there. That's going to be another pop fly, and going back into foul territory to pull that in is Tannehill. So 2 quick outs for Owen. And trying to get out of this inning unscathed, it's going to be a defensive check. So 6 will be the second baseman, total of 4, and that's going to be a 4-3 ground out. So 3 up, 3 down go the Naps. We are through 3. Score Chicago 4, Cleveland 1. And pitcher Frank Owen leading things off in the 4th against Liebert. And it's going to be a shortstop defensive check, a total of 21. And it's going to be a single off the fielder's glove. So Liebert is struggling in this game, just as he did yesterday in relief. Top of the order, Patsy Doherty. And they're going to go a little hit and run action. So here we go. Hit and run, going to be 2 on Liebert's card and 25 on Doherty's. 25 on Doherty's card. So total of 27, and that's going to be a fly out to center field. Runners hold, 1 down. Fielder Jones, the batter. Fielder Jones swinging away, column 5. And it's going to be a total of 7 in column 5, and he draws a walk. So down to second base goes Owen. And Liebert's been very wild in this one. That is his, he struck out a couple, and he has walked. So that's only his 2nd walk. Owen has walked 3 so far. So here we go, column 3 for George Davis, and that is going to be a total of 64, and that is a new number, and that is going to be a line drive single to center field. The runners advance 2 bases. So coming in to score is Owen, and over to third goes Fielder Jones. George Davis has his 2nd RBI, first hit of the season. And that makes it 5-1. So 1 more run for Liebert. He'll be at his B grade. And into column 4 we go. It's going to be a defensive check on the second baseman. So total of 7 there. And infield is at halfway depth. And that will be a force at second base. And that's going to get another run home. So fielder's choice for Anderson, but he drives in a run. And that makes it 6-1, and Liebhardt is on his B grades now, so he's not going to be around much longer in this one. And Freddie Perrant in column 4, and this will be a defensive check on the second baseman. And that is going to be a ground out to end the inning. So the Sox plate 2 more on 2 hits, and we are heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. 6-1 Chicago. Running away with this one behind the pitching of Frank Owen as Nick Clark set to lead it off for the Naps in the bottom of the 4th. And column 1 and 7 is going to be a pop out to second base, 1 down. So Owen now has the Naps guessing on his pitches. 3 pop-ups in the last 2 innings. As we go to column 4, another defensive check. And this is going to be on the third baseman for the Sox. So Tannehill is a 1. And 3 is going to be a 5-3 ground out. 2 down as Owen is settled into a nice groove now as Bill Hinchman comes up. Column 2 is going to be 59, and 59 is going to be a potential rare play. So again, we roll 1 dice, and that will indeed be a rare play. So 2 outs, nobody on. We go to the 1908 specific rare play booklet. And 2, ground out to first base, first baseman to pitcher. Runner trips over the bag, attempting to avoid a collision. If he stays in the game, his running speed is 1, and his defensive rating or outfield range is reduced to the poorest level. So Hinchman will stay in. We'll adjust his run rating because he sprained his ankle apparently. And in right field, he will go to a 1 as well. And actually, we are going to replace him. So 3-1 on the putout as we'll go to the bench. In especially in this year, the range, the outfield more than the running is going to come into play. So out there, we could go with Elmer Flick or Denny Sullivan. We're going to go with Denny Sullivan here to take his place. A slightly better hitter than Elmer Flick is. And his run rating is a 4E. And he is a 3 and a 53 in right field. And has an arm of 4. Okay, we are set, and we're going to the top of the 5th inning. And Liebhardt, this will be his last inning regardless of Jiggs Donahue set to lead it off. And column 1, it's going to be a total of 9 in column 1. And 9 in column 1, it's going to be a pop out to shortstop, 1 down. Tannehill the batter, column 3. And that will be 13, and that's going to be a line drive to shortstop. So Tannehill ropes that, but a nice play by Terry Turner, 2 down, Billy Sullivan the batter. Defensive check going to be on the second baseman. And that's going to be a grand total of 6 and 6-3 put out. So Liebhardt gets his first 3 up, 3 down inning of the game, pitching on his B grades. He's set to lead it off here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and that is going to be it for him. So Ed Foster is going to be the new Cleveland pitcher. And batting, he is a 1. And we need a pinch hitter. So Cleveland really does not have a lot of offense on their bench. A bunch of 220, 230 hitters. So we're going to bring in the left-hander Wilbur Good. And Good is as good as it gets. So here we go, Frank Owen. Bottom of the 5th inning, and here comes a pitch, column 6, and that's going to be a total of 34, and that'll be a short fly to center field, 1 down. I'm just going to close the book on Liebhart real quick. So we ended up going 5 innings. Gave up a total of 7 hits. 6 runs. 4 of those runs were earned. Walked 2 and struck out. Walked 2, struck out 2, and hit a batter. All right, so he is on the line for the loss. And back to the top of the order for Cleveland. 1 down in the 5th inning. Josh Clark, the batter. Frank Owen gets a sign. Here comes a pitch, and column 1 is going to be a 9. That's a pop fly to shortstop, so 2 down. Bill Bradley, the batter. And Owen, despite a rough couple innings with wildness, is still working on a 1-hitter here. Column 4, defensive check. And that'll be on the shortstop. So a total there of 8. I'm sorry, make that total of 4. It's going to be a 6-3 putout. So another 3-up, 3-down inning. There's a fine play out there by Freddie Perrant as we head to the top of the 6th inning, still 6-1. Sox in the lead, and Frank Owen set to lead things off. And another defensive check, shortstop. It's really funny, the defensive checks in this game really is varied. 13, that's going to be a possible error on Terry Turner, and Terry Turner 46 or more, and 51, that's going to be an E6, so 2nd error of the game for the Naps. And that's the 2nd time that the pitcher Frank Owen has been on. Single and now an error. Top of the order. Foster to Doherty as we go to column 1, and that is going to be a total of 12. And 12 will be a single up the middle. Runners advance 1 base. So the White Sox, not hitless wonders these last 2 games as Fielder Jones steps up against Foster. Go to column 2, and that'll be a ballpark result. So a total of 57 in column 2. And that's a dribbler towards a mad. We'll have to roll for a new Rays number. And it's going to be a 3 Rays number. I'm sorry, that's actually a looping drive. I was in the wrong column. And that goes to left field, and if his defense is higher than the Rays number, which is a 3, and in left field for the Naps is Josh Clark, and he does have a 3, so he makes a fine running play. Runners have to go back. So 1 down, George Davis, the veteran up. Column 5 for George, and that is going to be a total of 11. So 11 in column 5 is hit by pitch, and the sacks are loaded once again. And Cleveland pitching in this series. White Sox weren't stellar yesterday, but they are today. 1 down, bases loaded, and going to be a defensive check on the shortstop. Infield at double play depth. And that is not going to bode well as Turner scoops that up. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play, so a nifty twin killing. One hit for the Sox. They strand 2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still 6-1 as George Stovall set to lead it off for the Naps. And going down to column 1, and it's going to be a total of 49. And 49 is going to be a strikeout. So Frank Owen now, he has set down 11 batters in a row, so he's pitching, still working on that one hitter. Nap Lajoie the batter. And Lajoie, he is 0 for 1 today with a walk. Here comes pitch, column 3. And it's going to be a total of 5 in column 3. It's going to be a short fly to left field, 1 down. Terry Turner up, and the Cleveland shortstop made a fine double play pivot last inning. Going to be a defensive check on the second baseman. And 4-3 is going to be a putout. So another 3 up, 3 down inning for Frank Owen. And he is on pace to pitch a shutout just as he did in real life in this. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. They have scored a run. Still a one-hitter, though, as Freddie Perrant leads off the 7th inning for the White Sox. And we go to the power column. That's going to be a total of 41. And struck him out. So Ed Foster sneaks that one by and brings up Jiggs Donahue. Column 3, and it's going to be a total of 48. And 48 is going to be a line drive toward right field versus a right-handed pitcher. That is going to be a single. So Tannehill the batter now. The 5-run lead, they are going to hit away. Column 5, and it's going to be a total of 4. Ground ball to shortstop. And infield is halfway. Runner out at second. Out at second base. So fielder's choice there. 2 down brings up the catcher Billy Sullivan. Sullivan today is 1 for 3 with a run scored. Strikeout as well. Going to column 1 and struck him out again. So Foster, 2 Ks in this inning. Sox could have hit, and they cannot do anything with that. We're heading to the 7th inning stretch. 6-1, Chicago in the lead. And today's fun fact relating to the 1908 season. Pittsburgh's Exposition Park was actually very unique. It often flooded because it was right on the Allegheny River. So the outfield would often be flooded during rainstorms for those games. And on top of that, with all the steel factories in the area, the field would often be covered with a black soot, as Pittsburgh known as a smoky city back then. So you had a situation where games were probably some of the messiest in the major leagues when it was both wet and the regular fallout from the steel mills. And players hated to play there because in those days they often had to take care of washing their own uniforms. And playing in Pittsburgh ensured that you were always going to play in a dirty, black-stained uniform. So that was resolved, of course, when the team moved to Forbes Field in 1909. But last season at Exposition Park, and one of the least favorite places to play during the 1908 season for National Leaguers. So there you go. Our dead ball fun fact, as Nick Clark is set to lead it off for the Naps here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And going to column 2, it's going to be a total of 59. And 59 in column 2 is a looping drive to center field. We have to get a new raised number. And a 4, it's going to be a 3, so in center field. And out there is the very skilled Fielder Jones, who has a rating of 5, makes a fine running catch, 1 down. So not much is going to get past Fielder Jones on defensive checks. Column 6, going to the power column, and going to be a total of 35, and that's a short fly out to left, 2 down. Owen continues to mow through this Knapp's order. Denny Sullivan, who came on to replace Bill Hinchman due to an injury back in the 4th inning. So column 3, and that is going to be a total of 75. I'm sorry, that's a 7. It's a 7D, duh. So a total of 12 in column 3, and that is going to be a line out to first base. So another 3 up, 3 down inning. And we are through 7. And the White Sox with a comfortable 6-1 lead as we head to the 8th inning. And Ed Foster still on the hill facing Frank Owen. Going to be a defensive check on the second baseman. And 2, and making the play easily for the Knapps is Knapp Lajoie, so 1 down. Back to the top of the order. Patsy Doherty up. Doherty today having a good day. He is 3 for 4, has scored a couple of runs and stolen a base. He came into this game struggling, hitting under 200. So column 6 and power column for Doherty. It's going to be a total of 21, and 21 is going to be a deep fly to center field, going back, and running that down for the second out is going to be Joe Birmingham for the Knapps, 2 down, but Doherty gave that one a ride. Fielder Jones, the batter. Left-handed hitting Jones, and to the power column we go again, and that's going to be a total of 36. And it's going to be a short fly to right field. Coming in to take that for the final out of the inning is Sullivan. So 3 up, 3 down go the Sox as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Still 6-1 Chicago. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Foster here. So Foster actually did not pitch bad. He gave them 3 innings of work. Gave up a couple of hits. No runs. And hit a batter, struck out 2. So Foster is done, and as was the custom in that day, because he did not last, well, actually they're not going to bring in Joss. They will bring in Charlie Check to pitch the final inning. And Elmer Flick will be our pinch hitter here. Elmer Flick, early in the 20th century, was considered by some to be one of the better hitters in the American League. He was injured, however, only appeared in 9 games in 1908, fell off tremendously, hitting just .229. So Owen to Flick, and column 5, it's going to be a total of 7 in column 5, and that's going to be a walk. So Flick does his job. Gets on base with a base on balls. And back to the top of the order. So Josh Clark, the batter, and no sense bunting down by 5. He's going to swing away, and it's going to be in column 1. And he's going to swing and miss as Owen with a strikeout. Clark heads back to the dugout in disgust. Bill Bradley, the batter. And going to column 1 again, and this is going to be an 8. Pop fly to second base, 2 quick outs after a leadoff walk. And Flick remains riveted to first base. Column 6, power check, and going to be a total of 19, and that's a deep fly to right field, but plenty of room out there to make the play is Anderson, and third out of the inning. So no hits, no runs, no errors, one left. We're heading to the final frame. Chicago leads us 6-1. George Davis is going to lead things off against the new Cleveland pitcher, Charlie Check. And going to be a total of 59 in column 3, 59, and that is going to be a potential rare play. So here we go again. And that will be even, a dribbler towards the mound. And we're going to roll one die against the runner's speed, and Davis is a 4, and he is thrown out. Fine play by Check. So 1-3 on the put out there. John Anderson, the batter. One down, going to the power column, going to be a total of 17, and that's a deep fly to left field. Plenty of room out there, though, to pull that in as Josh Clark does the honors. 2 outs. And Cleveland has a pitcher that can get outs finally on the hill. Column 1, and swing a miss, strike out. Freddie Perrant goes down flailing aimlessly at that tough spitball. So we're heading to the bottom of the 9th inning. Chicago leading comfortably in this one, 6-1, and Frank Owen. Frank Owen is at his fatigue point. He reached that last inning when Bill Bradley hit. So basically, he'll go to his B grades because he's given up a run. If he allows a base runner, he'll go to his B grades. And even if that happens, we're probably going to try and ride this out. So going to be a total of 48 in column 1, and that is going to be a strikeout. So Lajoie, the Hall of Fame second baseman, no match for a Frank Owen fastball there. Terry Turner, the batter. And going to column 2, total of 21, and 21 is going to be a fly out to left field, so 2 outs. And Owen is going to finish this game strong, it looks like. Last chance for the Naps is Nick Clark, the catcher. Going to column 5, and total of 5, and that's going to do it. Ground ball down to third base. Tannehill scoops that up, whips it across the diamond. Yet another 3-up, 3-down inning, and ball game is over. So the White Sox take advantage of some early offense as they cruise to a 6-1 victory. A one-hitter by Frank Owen for the Sox, as they come up with 6 runs on 9 hits, 1 error. For Chicago, for Cleveland, 1 run, 1 hit, and 2 errors. Winner, Frank Owen. Loser, Glenn Liebhart. And that run that Owen gave up was unearned, so he continues his fine pitching. The only thing in this game, he was a little wild. Ended up walking 4 batters for the game. Walked 4 and struck out 4 as well. So fine effort, and player of the game in this one. Well, obviously Frank Owen has to be considered, but also for the Sox, Patsy Doherty, 3 for 5. 2 runs scored and a stolen base. He was definitely the offensive star. So we'll go ahead and give co-POGs. So Patsy Doherty and Frank Owen are players of the game, and this one is the White Sox back on the winning track, and they moved to 4-3 for 1908. And again, they had that opening game tie with the Tigers. That will be replayed only if it affects the pennant race, so we'll see how that goes. A long, long, long season ahead. But that'll do it from League Park in Cleveland. Again, Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Thank you so much for watching. And I posted on the Facebook group earlier today, but the middleweight cards are now all rated. And I'm going to be doing testing for the rest of this week and then get those off to the printer, so that middleweight set for Glory Days Boxing is coming up shortly. So as always, thank you for watching. Until next time, keep rolling for the fences. Hope you all have a good day. See ya.